Hello everyone and welcome to Golden Nova's First Reacts, where I react first to all the things you want to see reacted to first, as long as I'm the first person you come to react to things first. I was busy in the editing cave working on the next video for the channel when suddenly a ping from the Discord came by. New lore has dropped, Nova, and so I rushed to Yu-Gi-Oh! Organization to see what had befallen us. And Artmegia is not something I'm familiar with, but we are entering a new cycle of core sets, and we did just finish the Diabell storyline, so it appears that the new thing that I'm going to be obsessed with for the next year or so, Yu-Gi-Oh! Story-wise, has begun to emerge. Will it leave as much of a lasting impression as some of our other candidates? I guess we're going to find out, and then we'll talk about some other things that kind of slipped through the cracks previously. Let's take a look at Artmegia, starting with Medius the Innocent. That has Albaz in her. That's that's a bit of an Albaz-ish name. 1800 attack. Dark attribute. Okay, Medius the Innocent, level 4 Dark Fairy, 1800 attack and defense. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can take an Imprisoned deity monster from your deck and either add it to your hand or special summon it. If this card is in your graveyard, you can shuffle one monster from your hand or face-up field into the deck, and if you do, special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. You know what? The Albaz thing was kind of a shot in the dark, but we have a specifically named character here that doesn't necessarily have anything in their name that lends itself to an archetype, but they do have an archetypal name in their effect text. So I think we've hit the nail on the head for this one. Summon it out, get a free monster, and then you can revive it by shuffling back a monster. So it's what, hand or face-up field. So it kind of goes even, and then it summons you a new monster if you haven't used the first effect already. Seems pretty decent for any deck. But let's see if we've got any Imprisoned deities here. Not yet. Well, I guess we know the name of it. Artmegia is kind of at the top of the article here. So I should have clicked on that one sooner. But anyway, Artmegia Fine Melt. Finamel? Fine Melt. What a Fine Melt. Level 7, Light Warrior, 2400 attack, 1500 defense. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. If you control an Artmegia card, you can special summon this card from your hand, then you can draw a card. Neat. Your opponent cannot target level 6 or lower Artmegia monsters you control with card effect, so it does not protect itself. During your main phase, or during the main phase, very important distinction, if you control 3 or more monster types, quick effect, you can negate the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent currently controls. Also, their current attack becomes halved until the end of the turn. Yikes. Okay, so hopefully Artmegia is not a warrior solo archetype. It would certainly help it, at the very least. Getting different monster types on the board is not too terribly difficult, unless there's some kind of restriction to the summons that Artmegias can do. Link summons exist, and they are grand, and they live in a variety of different monster types. So we've got a free summon from hand if we control an on-theme card, and we get a draw out of it too, so it actually pluses you when you summon it. Protection for lower-leveled members of the archetype, not boding well for any protection to be given to boss monsters if they go higher than this, but a quick effect negate that also effectively turns off their combat capabilities of our opponent's monsters. I can barely think of most monsters that would not just fold to a reasonably sized field if all of their attacks were halved. So, interesting situation going on here. Artmegia Graffler, level 5 Light Dragon, so we're getting our different types in. 2100 attack, 1500 defense. You can only use the first and third effect of this card's name once per turn each. If you control an Artmegia card, you can special summon this card from your hand, and then you can set an Artmegia spell from your deck, so more plussing from summoning. Second effect, the first time this card would be destroyed by battle each turn, it is not destroyed. And third effect, you can target a spell or trap card your opponent controls, destroy it, and this becomes a quick effect if you control 3 or more monster types. Okay, so we are looking to broaden our monster core, and we get a lot of benefits for doing that. That's not just a one-off thing. We also get benefits for having an Artmegia and then summoning it out. So this is kind of like a reverse Fur Hire, because one for hire, you normal summon it, and then it brings out another one from the hand. These ones are more self-sufficient. You bring out one of the Artmegias, and then another monster joins it from its own effect from the hand. So a bit of an improvement in that regard. I wonder if there will be any for hire and Artmegia combos, because I like me some for hires. Artmegia Litera, level 3 light spellcaster, 400 attack, 1800 defense. You can only use the first and third effect of this card's name once per turn each. If you control an Artmegia card, you can special summon this card from your hand, and then you can add an Artmegia card from your graveyard to your hand. 2, you take no battle damage from battles involving this card. And 3, during your opponent's main phase specifically, as a quick effect, you can special summon an Artmegia monster from your hand or graveyard, except a copy of this card, then return this card on the field to the hand. Hey, that's pretty neat. So it's graveyard and or hand recursion, so you can get this out of the way. You can normal summon this. Even if it does get attacked, you take no battle damage from it, which is a nice little extra piece of support. And then you can get the on-summon grabs from Graph Lair or Fine Melt. And they are quick effect. You can utilize them if your board is big enough. It's a shame that it removes itself from the field when you do that, because you are taking away one of the types for it. But what are you going to do? Imprisoned Deity of Artmegia, level 1 Earth Illusion. So this is what we get to summon off of our first person that we talked about, whose name is going to be very important, Medius. Okay, Imprisoned Deity. You can only use the second and third effect of this card's name each once per turn. Okay, folks, it's an illusion monster. Keep in mind, I might go ballistic. But maybe they'll redeem themselves after how they handled illusions last time. First effect, you cannot special summon from the extra deck except fusion monsters. So we have a bit of a restriction here, as long as this is on the board. During the main phase, as a quick effect, you can fusion summon an Artmegia fusion monster or Nerva, the Imprisoned Deity of Creation, from your extra deck by using monsters from your hand or field, including this card you control. Okay, that's the second effect. It can do an on-theme fusion for some so far, or a specific Imprisoned Deity monster. So maybe we've got like the Imprisoned Deities will be the through-line archetype for the rest of the story. If this card is sent from the hand or field to the graveyard, you can add an Artmegia spell or trap card from your deck to your hand with a different name from the cards in your graveyard. I don't think it's too much to ask. I just don't. Do you? Do you think it's too much to ask? Like, whenever you look at, like, sea serpents or pyros or dragons or beast warriors, are you satisfied that none of them seem to have, like, a strong thematic through line through all of them? When all of you see that illusions have lost the primary effect that they all came into existence with, are you just okay with that? I mean, I've seen people who are like, Nova, you gotta stop talking about it. It's just an effect. They're taking something unique about illusion monsters, and they're not. Why make it an illusion at all? It could be a winged beast or something, because it's like it'll allow. Maybe if it's a statue, it's a rock. I don't know. It's just whatever. Artmegia diaktoros. That's a cool name. Level 8 Light Fairy Fusion Monster, 2800 attack, 2500 defense, requiring a Medius the Innocent and an Artmegia monster. So that would be, if we fusion somebody using the Imprisoned Deity, then that would cover that. So the main guy summons this, and then immediately you can fusion summon for this. So it's a one card fusion. How does it handle? When your opponent activates a card, or no, first effect, you can target a monster on the field and change its battle position. Neat. When your opponent activates a card or effect on the field and you control 3 or more monster types as a quick effect, you can negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. Okay. If this fusion summon card is destroyed, you can special summon a Medius the Innocent from your hand, deck, or banishment. Hey, so if we push the Medius and it gets banished by its own lingering effect, we can still bring it back after we fusion summon it. That's kind of crazy. And it just has is this an Omni Negate? Just to activate the card or effects. It's on the field, so it can't hit hand traps, it can't hit grave effects. But if anything activates on the field, it is an Omni Negate for that, as long as you have the diverse cards, card types. Actually, really quickly, Latera, this one's from the graveyard, right? Most main phase, put some Artmegia monster from your hand or graveyard. Oh, sick, so we can get back the fusion monster. Does this... If this fusion summoned card is destroyed, you can special summon, but all the other effects can work regardless, so that's pretty spiffy. Hard to be mad at that. That's a pretty solid card. Okay, Nerva, the Imprisoned Deity of Creation. Level 10 Earth Illusion. Don't do this to me. Devs, please don't do this to me. I'm tired. Please. Okay. Must first be either fusion summoned or special summoned from the extra deck in defense position by attributing 3 monsters with different types. I don't know why you would do that if you are trying to get 3 differently typed monsters on the board, but first effect cannot be destroyed by card effects while there's a card in the field. Oh, God. Once per turn, when you activate an Artmegia monster's effect, it's a quick effect, you can make that effect become destroy all cards your opponent controls. So we have made an effect. So we have been in the territory of changing our opponent's card effects into something different to effectively negate them. Now we're in the territory of turning another effect into another effect of our own. This does work like Thunder Dragons. It is a when effect. It is a when quick effect. So you can miss timing on this one. Your opponent can force a activation between the other Artmegia and this one. But that is a goober move, because there's the one that pops spell and trap cards as a quick effect. You can just say no. That blows up their entire field. Wow, that's nutty. And it's got a pretty good stat total too. Artmegia, the Academy City of Divine Arts. Field spell card. During your main phase, you can normal summon a Medius the Innocent in addition to your normal summoner set. You can discard a spell or trap card and declare the name of one Artmegia monster that you do not control. Add one of the declared monsters from your deck to your hand. Also, you cannot special summon from outside the extra deck for the rest of the turn, except Artmegia and Medius the Innocent. You can only declare each card name once per turn to activate this effect of this card's name. Okay. So, importantly, this card does not have a hard once per turn on it. The additional normal summon thing, of course, has that you can only gain this effect once per turn, but the second effect makes a lot more sense when you come to the realization that you can do this as many times per turn as you want, so long as you have spell and trap cards to discard and Artmegia names to declare, which we currently have 3 of. 4 if we count the Imprisoned Deity, so we have a lot to choose from. Cannot summon from outside the extra deck. So it doesn't restrict any extra deck summons. In fact, it keeps you from summoning anything else. Huh. Okay. Interesting way to handle that, but I guess if it's going to be like one of those things where they have a through-line archetype that goes through all the other ones, this helps keep Imprisoned Deities from being hit. If the Imprisoned Deities are generally extra deck monsters, then this helps keep those safe while limiting the rest of the cards. That's very funny. Okay, Theorealize. Oh, that's a great name. What is going on in this card art? Okay, hold on one second. You might be able to hear the cat. I'm gonna get that cat. Okay, we're back. That looks like Bad News Bears. Okay, so normal spell card, you can use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn each. Send a Medius the Innocent from your deck to the graveyard. Look at the top card of your opponent's deck and place it on either the top or the bottom of the deck. That's not bad, because Medius can revive itself from the graveyard, so this does kind of set it up while we get to, we either get to look at our opponent's bad card and make them draw it, or we take it away from, which is very funny. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target a face-up monster you control and declare a monster type and an attribute. It becomes the declared type and attribute until the end of your opponent's turn. Oh, so we've seen that monster type matter so far. Are we gonna get one that's an attribute matters? Interesting. Ooh. Okay, Artmegia Masterwork Succession. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. During the main phase, fusion summon a fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field, including an Artmegia monster. Then, if there is a card in the field zone, the summoned monster gains 500 attack. During your main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 3 Artmegia cards in your graveyard with different names and shuffle them into the deck. Notably, it does not exclude itself, so you can shuffle other copies of Succession. But not itself, because it's going to be banished. So, I guess my question is, this will come up more when we get more Artmegia fusion monsters. It just kind of feels like you wouldn't make the fusion we have already not just doing Medius, grab Imprisoned Deity, have it fusion summon. Like, that feels so easy to do. I don't know why you'd... And you need to have Medius, like, it's a specifically named part of the fusion, so... Oh, I guess I'm thinking too narrowly here. This fusion summons any fusion monster, including an Artmegia, and that's why it doesn't restrict extra deck summons, because we can use these for different other generic fusion summons. That's why that's there. Okay, and then we get to get a boost for it. So that's pretty cute. That's kind of cute, actually. Okay, never mind. This is I can see the vision with this now. Okay, it's all coming together. Artmegia Vandalism Assault. Continue a spell card. You can only you can activate only one card with this card's name per turn. You can only use the second effect of this card's name per turn. When this card resolves, you can add a Medius the Innocent from your deck to your hand. Excellent. You can target a face-up monster you control. That face-up monster can be treated as an Artmegia monster if used as fusion material this turn. If Artmegia, the Academy City of Divine Arts you control, would be destroyed by card effect, you can send this card you control to the graveyard instead. So it protects our field spell. We can trade it in for field spell protection. While it's here, we can make it an Artmegia for fusion summoning, so we can effectively make anything with Succession. As long as we put a monster on board and make it an Artmegia with this. And then also it sets up Medius. Huh. So it wants to be integrated into other decks, and if we do the whole thing where we get multiple archetypes weaved in together, if we, you know, branded Zais a bunch of archetypes together, this does help to make these on brand to do fusion stuff with. This is kind of wild. Artmegia Banish Change. Normal spell card. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. Place an Artmegia, the Academy City of Divine Arts, from your deck or graveyard face up in your field zone, or if you control it, you can add an Artmegia card from your deck to your hand instead. Accept a copy of this card. Second effect, when your Artmegia monster is targeted for an attack, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then negate the attack. Then you can special summon a Medius the Innocent from your hand. What's going on here? What's going on here? Protecting against the vandalism attack or something? We got someone doing some laser beam shots over here. It's a big laser beam hand coming from in here too, right? That's a big claw hand coming in from the ceiling. We got mech attacks. Okay, so it gets us our field spell. If we already have the field spell, it is an Omni Searcher. It's any card except for this one. And then it is an attack negator that gets us Medius from our hand if it's in there. Whatever. The first effect is the important one. Hello, Tempest. Hello, Tempest. Okay, last card. Artmegia Messina Awakening. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name per turn and only once per turn, so these are mutually exclusive. Special summon an Artmegia monster or Medius the Innocent from your deck. Also, this turn, the activation of cards and effects that include an effect that fusion summons a fusion monster cannot be negated. Also, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects when a monster is fusion summoned this way. So, we summon out an on-theme monster, and we set up Magical Meltdown as a Lingering Floodgate. You can banish this card from your graveyard and then target an Artmegia monster that you control. Return it to the hand or extra deck, and if you do, destroy a card your opponent controls. So that turns off one of your types that you might have, but it is removal, and it does kind of recycle, so that's pretty good. We have ways of quick summoning out our guy. Yeah, Medius. He himself does not quick summon, but we've got ways. I know we have ways. There were ways in here that will get this guy out. Oh, well, I don't even know what I'm saying. It literally just says Medius. So you can activate this, go, I summon Medius. Medius summon the Imprisoned deity. The Imprisoned deity has a quick fusion. Put those together, make the big guy, and your opponent can't activate Bubkiss in regards to that. That is so funny. Okay, this is wild. I'm looking forward to seeing how this develops from here. I want to see what big giant claw hand is doing here, trying to mess with the Arts Academy in here. There's a cool little, we're making beasties out of magic. Okay, man, I'm so curious. And once again, I really need that higher quality card art. This is just, it is so difficult looking for stuff in here. There's nothing so far that seems that it suggests that this is connected with any theme that has existed so far. So remember, everything is dual terminal, but we'll have to get to that eventually. The big focus on art here feels very reminiscent of Witchcrafters, so we have some level of Magical Nations energy here, but nothing concrete that says that this is connected with Endymion in any way. Pretty cool theme, though. It has some strong fusion summoning going on. Really cool options here. I love Diaktoros' Omni Negate. It really rewards our big types matters situation. Nerva turning our effects, monster effects specifically, into removal. That's very funny. I'm looking forward very much to see how this whole Imprisoned deity thing turns out. Will we be getting a new one and a corresponding fusion every set, and like each Imprisoned deity will be able to fusion summon for? I guess Nerva might not make sense because Nerva requires 3 Artmegia monsters, so maybe they don't always make Nerva, but maybe they can fusion summon generic fusion monsters, and then like Imprisoned deity that's kind of close to that current archetype. It's feeling like that's what we're getting here. We have some really good cards that get us into our engines. And if Medius is going to be the centerpiece of the story moving forward, this is an outrageous card to do it. Albaz began as a clunky tech pick that was the world's worst super polymerization, and through the course of several sets, it finally became a good card. This right off the bat seems like it has potential. It immediately gets us a free monster when it's summoned that gets us into a powerful fusion. It can be recurred for, I wouldn't say for free, but for cheap, and then the fusion monster that you can make with it replaces itself even if it gets banished. This is bonkers. I'm greatly looking forward to seeing what this deck does, though I don't feel like it's very meta at the moment. It does a lot of stuff. I just don't think it does a lot of good stuff. Like, it assembles material. It does cute stuff like messing with our opponent's top deck. This might Theorealize might change as we get more context for other themes in the future. And of course, things like Vandalism are super push. Like, this is a whack-ass card. But I still think it needs more sauce, but I don't think that's a hot take. Most of these themes require a set or two to really get off the ground before the mechanics can catch up with the rest of the field and of the meta. So Artmegia, looking good, liking the playstyle so far. Keep it up. Let's see where it goes. Let's go ahead and check out the 3 support cards for the Justice Hunters. Missed out on this one. Sacramentum Dragoon. Never mind, it's a Dragoon. It's way better than just a dragon. So for those of you who don't remember, we got like... Yeah. With the last deck build pack, we got a lot of cards that weren't part of the theme, but they made support that worked with them so that they weren't specifically tied to them, but we're like, come on. That's how we got the Eclipse Twins for WizaYOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOO tactical tries. We saw a ton of tactical try support-esque cards coming out. So now we're seeing the Justice Hunters get their own Sacramentum Dragon, level 8 Light Dragon Fusion. Requires a dragon monster and a spell card. Loses 100 attack for each of your band. That's... Hold on. That's Mysterion the Dragon Crown text. That's Mysterion the Dragon Crown fusion material. That's Mysterion the Dragon Crown stats. Are we trying to say something here? Are we trying to say something here, devs? You got to email me if you are, because I'm the guy. I'm the guy for this. You got to keep me in the loop on this. Okay. Your opponent special summoned dragon and spellcaster monsters cannot activate their effects while this fusion summoned card is in the monster zone. And the third effect, you can take a dragon and spellcaster monster in your graveyard and special summon one of them, and if you do, place the other on the bottom of the deck. Wait, huh? Why? I mean, I guess you don't really need to set it up. Dragons and spellcasters are both very prolific monster types, so maybe this is just meant to floodgate them ahead of time, but I do like the revival effect, though. Dragon spellcaster, special summon one, recycle the other one. That's pretty good. But what's up with this one? What's up with this stuff? I'm losing my whole mind here. I'm losing my whole friggin' gourd here, folks. Okay. Valon the Psychic Musketeer. Valon! Cloth armor. Incoming. Holy cow. Rank 5 Dark Psychic Xyz monster. 2500 attack, 2200 defense, requiring 2 level 5 monsters as material. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. During the main phase, as a quick effect, you can detach a material from this card. The target face-up monster your opponent controls and change it to face-down defense position, and if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target a set card and destroy it. Hey, that's pretty snazzy. We have gotten a quick effect. What is it? This Mr. Skyblasting Musketeer. Castell. That's pretty neat. Flip a monster down. If your opponent gets rid of it, you get to pop it. I think there are worse cards, especially if especially making this during your opponent's turn out of nowhere with like Lupus. That's kind of nuts. I dig it. Okay, Ukano Mitsune no Onari, a Link 2. Link 2? Excuse me, I thought this was Yummy support. We need Link 1s here. What's going on? Link 2, Light Beast Monster, 1500 attack, bottom arrow, left arrow. I think you mean a right arrow. You can only use the first and third effect of this card's name each once per turn. First effect of this card is Link Summoned. You can target a quick play spell card in your graveyard and set it. I'm trying to think. Because there is a quick play spell card in Yummy, so I guess you get that one. But that's... I think quick play spells right now, I think Canine, but this doesn't load up with Canine at all, so... second effect, your opponent cannot target cards in the field zones with card effects. Now that's very Yummy. They have 2 very good field spells. Third effect, if this card is destroyed, you can choose the following effect up to the number of cards in the field zones and apply them in sequence. You cannot choose the same effect twice. Destroy a card your opponent controls or inflict 1,500 damage to your opponent. Okay, so you get one for yourself, and then if your opponent's also on any nonsense involving field spells, you also get to punish them with that. This isn't bad, and having a Link 2 option for the deck, while it doesn't play well with the free special summon from hand effect of the Yummies, is a good thing to turn 2 Yummies into if you just need a body that gets you a card back. And if anything, getting the quick play spell back helps get you more material. It keeps your field spells safe, which are very important. And you get to punish your opponent a bit for getting rid of it. So this is funny. I dig it. Out of all of these, I want a written report on my desk tomorrow, folks. Okay. Next up, Sky Striker. I read this a while ago. This one, I think these are things that I have seen before. I looked at this one. Prototype Sky Striker Ace Amatsu, Link 1 Dark, Link monster, 1500 attack with a bottom arrow. Requires any Sky Striker Ace monster. You can only special summon copies of this card once per turn, and you can only use this card's name's first and second effect each once per turn. This is pretty standard Sky Striker stuff, aside from the fact they have a very straightforward down arrow. First effect, when a monster your opponent controls with 2,000 or more attack activates its effect as a quick effect, you can make that effect become destroy a Sky Striker Ace Link monster your opponent controls instead. We'll get to that in a moment. Second, when an attack is declared involving this card and an opponent's monster, you can target a Sky Striker Ace monster you control and a card your opponent controls and destroy them. So on 2 different axes, we have some really weird removal. So the second effect lets you effectively scrap dragon it, and then this one is your opponent's card destroys a Sky Striker Ace Link monster. Now, this is an important wording here because it will be our opponent's effect that destroys our Sky Striker Ace Link monster, which I believe summons Raid from the graveyard and then lets us tag into another Sky Striker Ace. So this is a weird, not a negate, but it's one of those effect substitutions that's basically a negate if you think about it. Only works with monsters that they control and that have 2,000 or more attack, so it's a little limited, but it's another nice tool to have in their back pocket. In a deck that is full of utility pouches, this is another thing that they get to do. This one I did not read. I think this was part of the leaks, though. Inferno of the Ashened. But for the life of me, I can't remember exactly what it does, but this might jog my memory. Continuous spell card. You can only activate 1 card with this card's name per turn. You can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. First effect, when this card resolves, you can place an Obsidian, the Ashened City, from your deck face-up in either field zone. Second, you can target a face-up card your opponent controls and a level 8 or higher Dark Pyro monster in your graveyard. Send that card on the field to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon that other monster from your graveyard to your opponent's field in defense position. So it's a way to give them Vados while removing a card. I forget how Obsidian is worded. You could send Obsidian with that. And that might summon a Vados, or it might get you an Ashened. I wish I remembered, but if that is the case, then this becomes a pretty good 1-card starter, right? Like, you play Inferno with the Ashened, give them the field spell. I guess you already have to have Vados in your graveyard as part of the issue, which kind of sucks. But if you do have that set up, send the field spell away, give them the Vados, you get one of your Ashened, you get to summon it out because they have Vados. This is a nifty card. This is alright. And then Crystal Miasma Dragon Tistina. Dark Aqua. Ooh, not Dark Pyro, unfortunately. Dark Aqua. The connections between the Tistina and the Ashened are so funny, and I can't wait to see if they'll actually do anything that really connects them. Making a Miasma Dragon for them seems like they're on the right track for that, though. Level 10 Dark Aqua, 2,000 attack, 0 defense. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can add a Tistina monster from your deck to your hand, except a copy of this card. Also, light Tistina monsters you control will gain 1,000 attack for the rest of the turn. That is in line with the big Xyz monster that's kind of a game ender. If this card is sent to the graveyard and a card is in the field zone, you can special summon this card. Also, you cannot special summon from the hand or graveyard for the rest of the turn except Tistina monsters, but it doesn't limit it from anywhere else. So from the banishment, from the deck, those are all fair places to summon from. I'm not a big Tistina head. I hazard to think of what things you could add to that deck to make it competitive, but, you know, anything that helps, I guess more power to them. These cards are goofy. I think that we're going to see some interesting stuff coming out of Artmegia in the future. I can't wait to see what's happening here. What is it, Medius? I keep forgetting his name. Will Medius be going on an epic adventure to hunt down who attacked his magical academy and find the secrets of his world? Will Medius unlock some kind of sacred power within with his weird little baubles that I can barely see in the art? I suppose only time will tell. And to keep up to date with all the new stuff that comes out, I guess, you know, keep an eye on the websites that post this stuff. But if you want to hear me talk about it, then make sure you hit that subscribe button so that the next time Konami drops some juicy spoilers, you'll be able to hear it from me. And why in the heck did they bring back Mysterion the Dragon Crown? Bye. Today's episode is brought to you by Dragon Shield. Get the sleeves as strong as dragon scales that even come with their own lore, and save 5% on your order by using the coupon code GoldenNova at checkout. It was also brought to you by my lovely patrons, including this month's illustrious Quasar Commanders, Upstairs Media and Sir Knight JCB, Nebula Navigator's 3rd Dynasty, 50 Gigabytes, Ada Basilisk, Adam Zajdel, Ancient Wizard, Andrew Newman, Battle Axe, Kane Senpai, Charlie Mercury, Chibi Gohan, Christopher Fuss, Clockswork, Comrade Copperbottom, Eric, Frankie, Garland Chaos, Green Knight, Great Big Pillock, Hair Bear, Harry the Ominous Benefactor, Iron Zero, Iskander 711, Garp, Marion James E. Picata, Mike Cook, Millennia Asta, Muse Clark, Neon Yami Nair, Orozco 09096, Panther J, Pat Poos, Rank 10 Trains, Rebel King Lucifer, Red Eyes Jackalow, RJ the Jank Monarch, Sonic 21 Blast, The Critic of Innocence, Thievery Coast and the Wizard Moose, Cosmic Crusaders Ally Vatnia, Animasta, Anthrak, A Random Pup, Baden Von Titty Sprinkles, Beluga Masta, Blitzwolf, Chaz Ghost, Chibi Gohan, again, Christopher Fuss, again, Chris B, Cool Trainer Dark, Dante Lawson, Dr. Entity R.I.P., Eki Bullock, Eva Padilla, Herbal D, Kale the Dragon, Lobomaru 02, Manga Pages, Martin Moore 2468, Natiel Lee Alexander, Nitromo, Not Al Gore, Nyx, Obsidian, Pombo, Rhyme Kairos, Shwenny, Shizuki Nijimura, Sophie, apparently, Sphilia, Stephen Williamson, The Legendary Raven, The Phantom Knights of Shitted Pants, The Queen of Time, The Gene, Tiger X2476, Tristan O'Meara, Zeldrucka and Zero De Nova, as well as the lovely Starlight Explorers you see on screen now. If you'd like to help me in my journey to cover all of Yu-Gi-Oh's archetypes, get my videos early, be a part of these credits and other awesome perks, it would mean the world to me if you would check out the link to my Patreon in the description or consider joining as a YouTube member.